Civilizations are built with tools. Ancient man developed the three basic principles of cutting tools and has been improving these for thousands of years. These three principles are cutting, perforating, and smoothing. Ancient tools were made of stone. Perhaps the best known ancient tool is the arrowhead. Archaeologists call them projectile points. From their size and shape, we can tell where they came from and how old they are. Throughout the world, we find lithic scatters, small piles of stone chips where an ancient toolmaker sat making his tools. Someone sat here hundreds, thousands of years ago making his stone tools. Ancient man was much like us in that he liked a scenic view. Flake scatter sites are found around the world in places with a view. And of course, he could keep an eye out for passing game or for enemies. This is a Clovis point. It was used about 11,000 years ago and is found throughout the western United States. It was used for hunting mammoth or the American elephant. A little while later, I'll be showing you how to make an arrowhead just as those ancient tool makers did. But first, let's take a look at some of the other basic tools developed by ancient man and how some of those ancient principles are still in use today. A saw is primarily a series of little chipping edges. This is an ancient saw, and these are the chipping edges. The sand chips away at the parent material as the cord is drawn across the stone. This is a drill bit. This obsidian bit is fastened to the shaft with sinew and pitch. Ancient man drilled holes in stone, wood, shells, possibly even each other's heads. A drill bit has two cutting edges, and when they are rotated, they chip at the material, leaving a hole. The modern steel plane removes thin layers of wood and leaves a smooth surface. A fresh sharp flake can also be used for scraping, leaving a fresh, smooth surface, and shaping the wood, of course. Or it could be used like a knife, similar to a modern pocket knife, for slicing or shaving off material from the wood. Or the heavier, fresh flake could even be used for a chopping tool. The brace and bit came on the scene in the recent past, and like the bow drill we saw in the lab, two cutting edges chip away at the material and leave a hole. The brace and bit is still used in modern civilization, but usually by purists. With the advent of electricity, electrical power turned the bit. A saw is a very old tool. Remember now what I told you earlier with the very ancient cord saw. The saw is primarily a row of little chipping edges. This round-bladed saw is a modern version of that ancient principle. Bits of carbide glued to a round steel wire. The bits of carbide are chipping the glass. This crosscut saw has fairly large teeth and cuts wood rapidly. With the invention of the wheel, not just transportation became efficient. Teeth were added. And cutting became much easier and much faster. Earlier I told you I would show you how to make an arrowhead. The material we're using today, obsidian, is volcanic glass. I like to use it with beginning students because it's easier to flake and it's much easier to learn with than harder materials like flint. This is a core. As you can see on the board, I'm going to strike a blow here and this piece will flake off from the core. Ancient man knew this, and this is the material he made his arrowheads from. Now you can see, if you get the tool placed right on the edge of the flake, the sound will be a pop, which means we're removing the right kind of flakes. Yeah.
It's okay, but I keep grinding on this.
Well, you're grinding. You're absolutely right. Let's try, see if we can get one off right here. Good grip on this, power grip. Put this on the knee for added stability. Yeah, right on the edge. Better grip here. Like that. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did.
Like that. Pop, pop,
Oh, okay.
pop, pop. That was a little... Oh, sorry. We've removed. This sound means you haven't done a very good job. The grinding sound. You want the pop, not the grinding. Okay, everybody set up? Now, when it's comfortable and set, then into and like that. You'll feel it. Oh, you almost got it. There you go. Excellent. Mike, looks like you've got it mastered, eh? You aren't too wounded.
No, just one. That one, that's it.
Yeah, the point is turned over and over as we're working on it. Shaping it, making it symmetrical. Now all we have to do is put finishing touches on the edges. Finer and finer flakes. And we have a desert side notch made from obsidian. There's an interesting side note to all this. In a world of lasers, computers, and satellites, there's this, a scalpel. It uses the same cutting edge used by ancient man. It's being used in eye surgery today because the edge is the sharpest known to man, much finer than the finest steel scalpel. The edge on this scalpel is 1 micron thick. To give you an idea of what that means, a fine human hair is roughly 100 microns thick. An incision with this scalpel heals faster because the cutting edge slices rather than tears through the cell tissue.